African Freedom Day is a day celebrated every year on May 25th to celebrate the liberation, unity, and independence struggles of African countries. It marks the formation of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in 1963, now known as the African Union. The day reminds Africans of the sacrifices made by freedom fighters who stood against colonialism, oppression, segregation, and injustice. For Zambia, African Freedom Day carries deep meaning because the country itself fought for independence from British colonial rule and attained freedom on October 24, 1964, under the leadership of Kenneth Kaunda. Zambia also played an important role in supporting liberation movements in Southern Africa, helping neighboring countries fight for freedom. Today on My Community, join me, Ruth Msakabantu, as we celebrate African Freedom Day. Before many African countries gained independence, Africans faced oppression, segregation, exploitation, and denial of basic human rights. Brave freedom fighters sacrificed their lives, families, and comfort so that future generations could live in dignity and peace. Freedom means having the right to speak, learn, worship, vote, and live without fear or oppression. Independence means that a country has the power to govern itself, make its own decisions, and protect the interests of its people. Join me as I have a conversation with Mama Anita Funyina, who takes us back in history about how they used to live back then.
Muli bwanji.
Bwino muli bwanji mami.
Bwino ziko mupovomera kuti kukamba naise kuti timvereko kuti kudala mwenzo nkala bwanji. So ine nifuna kuziwa kuti kudala naise kwasiyana bwanji mwenzo kula bwanji. Just maybe briefly mtuze kuti mwenze makulideo yani mwenze bwanji.
Pametezo kula kudala tezo kula boyopa ma parents. Bakuru bakakuoro ma parents yali yonse osati bamayi bako beka bakuru bonse bamene wapeza ni bamayi bako bamuna bonse bakuru ni batate bako ni mwametezo kulira kudala.
Ngo chenenzo funofunsa kudala mwenzo pasa bwanji ule mu makolo rofuna kukamba na beve mwenzo bachita approach bwanji
kudala monga ku side yaba muna banga ni bakalunda bakumwinirunga kuribe kupeza bakuru iwe mufano wabaposha ati muri bwanji bakuru mamene bazakuposha ati uri bwanji olomanji oloyine olobapongozi banga bakabwera pa nyumba sindine wamene niza bapasa moni beve ni bamene bazani yambirira kunipasa moni muri bwanji ni pamene naine nizayanga mwamene chenzeri bakuru bakupase moni iwe ni wamene uzayanga manje na ulemu na kugwada bakuru.
Okay, so vijaveneze na posha ine na faula kudala ka?
Mwezo izonekera ine ni miposhe nini. Muri bwanji pamene imwe mungani yankati tiribwini. Mwamene chiri ku kaucha yakuba muna banga kuri balunda. Mwana ni wamene bakuru bamene bayambira kuposha mufana. Olo ni bapongozi bakabwera niba kubuza chabati mwaiseni beve nikakambati mwaiseni beve ni bamene bazani uzati muri bwanji nirindira kuri beve oropokamba bakamba bakabwera ati batiposhe bapongozi batiposhe manje pamene bazani poshe.
Okay.
Mamene tezo kulira.
Okay, at least tapunzira ko chimozi. Ni ma traditions bwanje amene mu missing ya kudala. Ni bichani venzo chitika kudala pamene mu missing avesi muona manja.
Kudala pamene tenze bafana kwenza unkala pa monga pa ground. Penzo vina mitundu ili yonse. Amene tenzo unkala kulwansha. Penze pa ground pa mozi. Penzo vina bakalunda. Penzovina bakalunda, penzovina babemba, penzovina vimajani bakuchipata. Vonse nishtikari bafana tikaenda tiendo ona uyu mutundu amene uvina hapa ni bakalunda, uyu mutundu amene uvina hapa ni bakungumbo, bena ngumbo bavina kalera. Kasi tenzoziba mwamene muja mkutamba bamene tenzotamba tenzoziba na mitundu bamene ba makao cha yao. Bamene tenze bafana.
Okay. Now that Mwashita mention hivyo, ise bamene ti generation ya mene iliko kuma pesikala be mu nyumba muri vizungu. Mu kamba po bwanje.
Vaononga vizungu, vaononga bana, chifukwa sibaziba kwa mene banachoka. Ife tenzoziba kwa mene tinachoka. Manje bana bazino siku sibaziba na kwa mene bachoka. Na chitundu sibaziba na kaucha banataya. Chifukwa mwana ayenero ziba kwa mene anachoka. Na chitundu ngati bama ine bamayi banga banabadwa kudi batati bawo benze ba kuchipata. Bamayi bawo benze bakaonde bakumumbwa. So benzo chitaso ngati tikamba na bambuya bamuna benzo tikamba bakamba na ine muchaku chao cha kuchipata. Ngati nikamba na bambuya bakazi bakamba na ine chikaonde. So tiziba chonse ngati nikamba na bambuya bamuna benze bakuchipata ngati kamba nao bafuna nikambe chitundu chao. Bambuya bakazi nao bakanifu ngati nikamba na bambuya bakazi nao tikamba nao chikaonde. So vonse niziba chakuchipata nimvera chikaonde nimvera chifukwa bambuya benzo sebenzisa vitundu vao.
Okay. Hapana mutiuze koche bamene mwenzo onkalira before tankala na independence paja, then also pamene tinankala nayo independence mankali doenze bwanje.
Apa pali difference kulu maningi. Chifukwa pamene tenzo kula ife kwenzeve kunkala manyumba ya bwino. Kupita mtauni mumayadi mubazungu bana benzoika manani mafensi yao olopalibe imbwa benzoika po beware of the dog kuyopa chabe ife bantu sibenzo yopusya atipali imbwa benzoyofya ife chifukwa bamene benzosebenza mumayadi benze babululu batu manje kaili ife ba African tenzofuna kuti tizienda kuti babululu batu bamene basebenzako. Kansi bazungu sibenzo ufuna kuti bakazitiona paja pa manyumba yao. Benzo remba beware of the dog. Kudibe kungena po pa nyumba. Elo benzo pasa tu nyumba kuseri. Kwa mene uko kudibe kupitira kuflanti. Ni kupitira kuseri kwa mene uko kuti bazungu bene bake basa kuoni. Oropo kamba mukamba pangono na bamene babululu batu bamene basebenza hapo. Bami uzana ati mzungu alipo, orodona alipo, osa kambisa, mkamba chebe pangono. So ni mwamene tenzo nkatida, tenzo ziva ati tizankalako na mayadi, o tizasambako na mchibafu chija, tenzo tamba chabe pa TV, pa nani, musinema nayo TV kwenzevi. Kwenze chabe venzo leta vimamoto ka venzo choka ku Zimbabwe bamene tenzo tamba kumbuyo kwenze chisinema so pamene tenzo ngona kasi kuli na chibafa cho samba pamene tenzo zibira oro ice cream tenzo yiziba ife tenzo pita ngatienda kuminda tenzo pita mu town poenda kuminda upeza tubana twao banapanga bwino po dela ma ice cream tezoona munga bakudia tutenga bakudia ka ija corn ice cream kasi n'abazungu bamajja tute senzo ziba tinakaja konse bamakaja senzo ziba manje taziba tidyako nodyako
ine bambuya wange benzonshimikirako kuti kudala kwenze kulibe kungena mu shop vetingenera mu shop so kugula chintu over the counter wapasa direct muonana kunkala kapena ni ku kaya kati kugulira mu mawindo mungatuzeko hivyo kuti venze bwanji mwezomvera bwanji
oona mwamene kwenzeve nani kwenze na mashopu abazungu beka benzo kambati kuma eos kulwansha kwenze ma Indians nao beka bazungu bene nao beka uko senzo pitako no pitako kubazungu tenzoenda chabe kuma Indians na kuma Indians benzo tunga tuma dress batunga mu veranda batunga matera ero batupatika mu shop ero mutenga chinani chisengu inse urusengu ero mure patura utwakupaturo tumala yoto babira kare uko kuma yaji uko ni kwao beka kumayose tenzotea kwa kumayose kwa bazungu chabi but if bamene ben Africa tenzoenda kuri bamwenye kwamene benzo tigurira tuma dress
so apa manje pamene tiriri as Africans, as Zambians, freedom ya mine tiri nayo ishi. Mungachiste advise bwanjis, especially this generation, with regards to kuzisunga bwino, so that mutendere wa mene wetiri nayo, uchitechani, upitirize.
Chifukwa freedom inachoka mo limba ero bantu bamene tenzeko tenzovutika tenzoenda chopanda nsapato mabuku benzotiforesha ero imwe mulina mwayi wakuti ati mulina vonse maskulu muyenda manzi musamba ya free ife tenzotapa banapanga chicommunion pamene tenzotapira manzi so musunge bwino nani freedom siyo soberesa freedom ni ya bwino chifukwa ive banzani stenzo siba na swimming pool stenzo hizi bati kuti tenzo tamba chabe tuzungu tusamba manje imwe mudi na freedom ya kuti mudi na swimming pool pa manyumba so muyenero sunga bwino freedom hii.
Okay, so the way we're seeing things right now, where young people are being used as tools of violence, kutenga vimapanga, kwamba kumenya na kuchita bwanji, ndeva mene mwenze naimwe, pwemenzo tenga freedom to have Zambia have its independence. Ndeva mene mwenzo chitira behave na beve.
Kwenzeve ati mapanga, machani hawe, benzo menyana na kamwa, benzo kamba chabe, ma freedom fighters, benzo kamba hivi mulungu azatipasa, hivi azatipasa, kukamba chabe. Chamene chenzepo chabe ni kugwirizana, unity. Penze unity ya kuti bakakamba ati mailo ni meeting, wonse kuribe kupika, wonse tienda ku meeting, tukamvere bamene batiuza. Mwameti zankarira chamene chinapurumusa Zambia ni unity bantu benzomverana pamozi bakakamba noona bamene benze kuntango banali na vision yoziba titizaba bazatu tizankala wo free banaona benze na vision chifukwa cha vision yao yamene bamene mukamba tisibaba ikakonzero yamene inaletesa kuti bonse tube free so tiende roba pasa ule mubaja abantu benze na vision baja banatenga vision ija tiende roba pasa ule ero tu.
My takeaway message from what Mama Funyina has said is that we as Zambians need to be united and stay focused as a country. She mentioned that back then people used to interact, different tribes. People got to know kuti ichi chitundu na babatundu bamasta interact bwanji bankala bwanji kwenze libe tribalism. So as Zambians we need to stay away from distractions and issues of tribalism. She also mentioned that as young people we need to embrace our cultural heritage and also get to learn about our languages and tribes. We don't just have to focus munyumba tikamba chabe vizungu tenika kuponzisa bana watu kwa minute na chokera so that sisaibale kuti ndisebandani as Zambians. So in a home, if you are Ngoni, you are Tumbuka, you are Lozi, you are Lenje, you need to also just inculcate those morals in the young people so that they know their languages, because we are Zambians. So that is what defines us as Zambians. I hope you learned one or two things from this conversation. Keep watching BMTV. As we continue having conversations surrounding African Freedom Day, I am joined by Auntie Macy, who is going to give us her views surrounding African Freedom Day and what it means to her. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
What does African Freedom Day mean to you?
Well, for me, I interpret it from a spiritual point of view. For me, Africa Freedom Day is talking about the liberation of the Africans from colonialism. But apart from that, when I see in the Bible how God delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt because they were in bondage and they were under hardship and taskmasters. That means they didn't have the freedom to live the way they wanted to. In fact, there's a time they were asked to sing songs and they cried out, they said, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land, because they were in captivity. Yeah. So for me, Africa Freedom Day is talking about the liberation of a human being in every area of their lives.
Okay. Do you think as Africans, let me say as Zambians, do you think that we are losing our identity, our culture, our values?
Yes, to a huge extent actually. I see a lot of loss of culture and our African tradition because when I look at the way things are, people are following what they are watching on the internet, on TV, and they're classifying that to be their new culture. They actually call it the new culture, and they've gotten away from the African tribal cultures, and I can't blame them really because some don't know better. They've not been taught. They haven't had anyone to tell them who they really are. And therefore, wherever they are, whatever they come across, they're taking it along and it's becoming part of who they are. So there's a loss of identity in who a Zambian is.
Okay, so what do you think we should do to ensure that we embrace our cultural values, our heritage, as well as our identity? So we could start that from a home setup. Yeah. What should parents do, and what should society do to ensure that we don't lose ourselves as a people?
I can refer to the Bible again in the book of Deuteronomy, in chapter 4, chapter 9, chapter 11. You will see where God was telling Moses to tell the children of Israel to teach the children, to teach the elders and the leaders, everyone in Israel, including the children. And he said, do not forget these laws that I'm giving to you. Why? Because he didn't want them to lose who they were, no matter where they were. He ensured that they had to be taught the scriptures. They had to be taught the Jewish way, the way life was to be led. And therefore, I see that anomaly in our days today. You find that even when you go in homes, a child can't even speak their language, but you find their name is maybe from one of the tribes. It could be Bemba, could be Tonga, could be Lozi, but they even bear a name that is from one of the tribes. But when you greet them in their language, they're not even able to comprehend or to answer. So I think starting from the home, that's where everything has to be taught. We have to start from the language, we have to start from values. We need to sit down with the children and explain to them who they are, where they're coming from, what were their grandparents like, if the grandparents are not around. And it will also help if people sit together as families. If they do have their grandparents, allow them to sit with the grandparents, allow them to hear stories. I remember very clearly, our parents used to sit down with us. Our grandparents would come in and they would tell us stories. I come from a background where my mom was Bemba and my dad was Lozi. For several years, there was even a time when my father was working outside Zambia. But I remember clearly that my mom insisted on speaking to us in Bemba, speaking to us in local languages from Zambia. So even when we were out, even when we came back, even wherever we've gone, we've learned to continue speaking our languages, to understand and to learn other languages as well. I speak a number of Zambian languages.
What is your message as we go towards, the elections? How should we behave as a people? How do we need to interact with other people, regardless of their political affiliation? We're still one people, we're still one Zambia, one nation, and that should always stay in our mind. Maybe your message towards that.
Okay. My message is, as our first president, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda, he even came up with a song. He used to sing Tiende Pamozi, na mtima ungati, umozi. So that is my message. Let's move forward. Even as we go to elections, let's go forward in unity, with one heart, with one mind, with the language of love. Let's love one another. Let's not start killing each other over things that will pass away. We need the peace, we need the unity, and if this nation has to prosper, if this nation has to grow, and if we have to enjoy our independence, we shouldn't destroy that by fighting one another. There should be no lines of division. Let's embrace one another. Let's speak the same language of love. Let's enhance each other. Let's be disciplined and look for the interests of each and every one of us. We only have one Zambia. We are one Zambia and we are one nation. So let's uphold that.
That's very beautiful, Auntie Mercy. I like that. One Zambia, one nation. That's the message that we have taken from Auntie Mercy. We only have one Zambia and we need to take care of our nation.
Freedom Day. It's a day when Africans were free by foreigners. And for us celebrating it, it's us reminding ourselves that we are now free from foreigners and we can do whatever we want as Africans, because Africa is a free continent and we have the rights, privileges to do whatever we want because of our forefathers who fought for Africa. Thank you.
Day bwino maningi ba parents batu banatufightingira tinanga na freedom muno kambaka kuti ndiye benzeko sembe kuti sivinashitike sibenzeko sembe this time stizwa kwaneti, otherwise African Freedom Day ndiye bwino maningi amene ninga kambe point chakuti bana baba meneti bara pa this time tifunika tagwirizana kaiti kamba timiti kula empanga. So nikugwirizana chabe so that bana batu bakula mwamene wanakulira ma parents mwe banatsungira naise tsunge so chabe bana bangono so that nawe vazinga na freedom monga vande onde osibiwa mayayi tifunika cheta sebenzera pamozi madezi yaenda na bana bakula mwe banatsungira makolo batu kudala skom.
Today, African Freedom Day challenges us to ask ourselves, what are we doing to protect the freedom that our forefathers fought for? As we celebrate African Freedom Day, let us honor our heroes by promoting peace, unity, love, and development in our communities. I will leave you with this question. What are you doing to ensure that Africa's freedom, culture, and identity continue to grow for future generations? My name is Ruth Msakabantu, and thank you for watching.